Something huge is brewing for the Chiefs. We're talking about a game-changing move that could completely overhaul their defense. Will this be the key to taking Kansas City's defense to the next level? Stick around and make sure to subscribe to our channel for all the latest updates. You won't want to miss this. Hey Chiefs Kingdom, there's an exciting buzz circulating around Kansas City that could have major implications for the team's defense in the near future. And if you're a fan of powerful game-changing defensive plays, this is a moment you can't miss. The spotlight is now on one name that has been making waves in the football world: Walter Nolen. This young powerhouse is drawing attention from every corner of the NFL, and the Chiefs are reportedly in the hunt to land him. But why should we be so excited about him? Well, let's break it down. Walter Nolen is an absolute force in the trenches. Standing tall at 6'4", and weighing in at 325 pounds, he's a physical specimen who can dominate any offensive line. His explosive burst off the snap is unmatched, and his ability to disrupt plays from the defensive tackle position is something the Chiefs could desperately use. Remember how the Chiefs' defense struggled to put consistent pressure on the quarterback. Last season, adding someone like Nolen could be the answer to filling that gap and giving Patrick Mahomes even more support on the other side of the ball. But it's not just his size and power that make Nolen a top target for Kansas City. His motor never stops. Whether it's against the run or rushing the passer, Nolen plays with a relentless drive that makes him a game changer on every snap. His versatility in the defensive front would allow defensive coordinator Steve Spagnuolo to mix up the Chiefs' defensive schemes, keeping offenses guessing and creating opportunities for turnovers. So, what's the bottom line here? If the Chiefs can land Walter Nolen, they'd be adding a player who could immediately elevate their defense to a new level. Imagine a defensive line that can both stop the run and wreak havoc on quarterbacks. That's the kind of boost Kansas City could use to get back to the Super Bowl. Man, if Walter Nolen lands with the Kansas City Chiefs, I can honestly say our defense will be transformed in a way we haven't seen in years. As Chiefs fans, we know all too well that while our offense has been lighting up the scoreboard, the defense has had its struggles. But Nolen? He's exactly the kind of player that could fill that missing link in our defensive line. Let's talk about what he brings to the table. First off, his size and strength alone make him a nightmare for opposing offensive lines. Standing at 6'4" and weighing 325 pounds, he can absolutely bulldoze through blockers and wreak havoc in the backfield. The Chiefs' defensive line hasn't always been able to put enough pressure on the quarterback in recent years, and Nolen's ability to disrupt plays in both the passing and running games would be a huge upgrade. Now, if you're wondering about his motor, let me just say, it's non-stop. This guy doesn't take plays off. His effort is 100% every snap, and that's exactly the kind of mentality we need on defense. You add a guy like Nolen to the mix, and it immediately makes the entire defensive front better. He's not just a run stuffer, he's a player who can affect the game in every phase, and that's what we need to get back to the top. Think about it for a second. If Nolen were to join the Chiefs, the coaching staff could rotate him with other big-time defensive players like Chris Jones, creating constant pressure on quarterbacks. This would allow our defense to be more dynamic and unpredictable, which would help us get those crucial sacks and turnovers that we've been missing. Sure, there's always a risk with new additions, but Nolen's potential is undeniable. He's already been making waves, and I think he could be a game changer for the Chiefs' defense. The combination of his raw talent, relentless drive, and physicality would give us a defensive front that's terrifying for any offense to face. Can you imagine teams trying to game plan around a defensive line that includes Nolen, Jones, and others? They'd have nightmares. Now I'm sure you're wondering, will this become a reality? Will Nolen join the Chiefs and change the course of their defense for years to come? We're just going to have to wait and see. But one thing is for sure, Chiefs fans should be paying close attention to this potential move. Before I wrap up, let me ask you this. Do you think adding Walter Nolen would be the missing piece to the Chiefs defensive line? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. I want to hear from you. And as always, make sure to hit that subscribe button for all the latest news and updates right here on KC Chiefs Central.